Country Line Lane through that old squeaky gate here at Down on the Farm Radio headquarters. Walk with us down the sidewalk, up onto the front porch, through the screen door, down the hallway, past all those ancestral pictures of the people that lived here at the headquarters house since before I was even a gleam in my daddy's eye. And we'll sit at Granny Marble's kitchen table, and we'll have a big old heaping helping of ag information, plus Hop Sing's chicken fried steak, some jalapeno gravy, and Nanny's yeast rolls. Let's take a look at our ag weather, courtesy of the good folks first at the National Weather Service office in San Angelo. Then we'll move our way on toward San Antonio and then down toward Corpus Christi. Today, forecast highs in the far northwestern portion of our region: Abilene 94, San Angelo 94, Ozona and Sonora and Junction 94. Tonight, we're looking for a 69 in Abilene, a 65 in San Angelo, Ozona, and Sonora, and a 63 in Junction. Neighbor, as we look on further down toward the Austin, San Antonio National Weather Service office region, we see Langtree 102, Rock Springs 93, Kerrville 93. Then you get up to Llano 96 and Georgetown 96. But as soon as you drop down toward that I-35 line, you get warmer. Uvalde 98, Hondo 98, San Antonio 99, Austin 100, LaGrange, Giddings, Cuero will call you 97, 98. And Pearsall and Pleasanton, y'all will be lucky if you do not break that 100-degree mark. And then on Friday, y'all will be sunny, 64 to 71 your high, your low, 94 to 102 your high, and Saturday, a little cooler, 63 to 72, and your highs 92 to 98. Neighbor, there's ag weather for a big old chunk of Down on the Farm Country. Neighbor, I want to remind you about the live and online public auction Saturday, September the 11th, 9 a.m., Highway 90, D'Hanis, Texas, approximately 7 miles west of Hondo, courtesy of Dwayne Lutz and Lutz Auction Service, Texas license 13075. Call 830-931-4312 for details. How about tractors like a 4640 with duals, a 4430 with duals? How about a Case 9300 or a Ford 4200? How about industrial equipment like a 12-foot aerator, a 10-foot pull-type box blade? How about skid steer spears? There'll be more tractors than you can imagine, vehicles, tools, ATVs, and much, much more. If you need a Landau 6230 26-inch disc, we got it. A Red Ball 670 pull-type sprayer, we've got them. Show stock equipment, sheep and goat, hogs, alleyways, WW cattle scales, WW hog scales, squeeze chutes, sorting gates, show tack and panels. More than I can talk about in 1 minute. Lutz Auction Service, 830-931-4312. You can even go to salesbybud.com and find the sale consignments. Or again, call Dwayne at 830-931-4312. And you can look up Lutz Auction Service on Facebook. They've got it all posted there also. I'm pouring the iced tea, neighbor. And while I do, let's take a look at those commodities of ag interest. December corn, 5.11 3/4, up 1.5. November beans, 12.75 3/4, down 3 1/4. Your December Kansas City hard red winter wheat down 16 at 6.88 3/4. Number 2 cotton, the December contract, down 7 at 94.01. October live cattle up 47.50 at 123.57. October feeder cattle down 2.5 at 159.27. October lean hogs up 2.5 at 87.40. In your October West Texas Intermediate crude up 39 at 69.69. Neighbor, there's your commodities of ag interest. Neighbor, it's time for today's edition of Focus on Ag. We'll see who's at the mic and what the topic is after this word from your Texas Farm Bureau Insurance Company.
When we moved to Texas, we were like fish out of water. We didn't know anyone in our neighborhood until our Texas Farm Bureau Insurance agent came to the house. She was so helpful and reassuring, a friendly face with that Texan hospitality I'd heard about. When we purchased a Texas Farm Bureau insurance policy, we knew we were making the right choice. We knew our family would be protected.
Visit Texas Farm Bureau Insurance today at tfbinsurance.com to find an insurance agent who's a true neighbor. Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Touring wineries in the fall. I'm Tom Nicoletti with Focus on Agriculture on the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network. The Texas wine and wine grape industry contributes more than $13 billion of economic value to the state of Texas. That according to the 2017 Texas Economic Impact Study Packet on the American wine industry. There are more than 500 wineries in the state where more than 1.7 million tourists visit. More than 104,000 people are employed in the industry, including those people in the vineyards around Lubbock on the Texas South Plains. That is where we go for today's report from Eddie Griffiths in West Texas, as producers are getting ready to go full speed on the harvest of their grape crops in the region.
Talked to a producer this past week, and he had gotten a few grapes out, and he said as far as the yield was concerned, it looked good. Maybe the sugar content was off just a little bit, and that probably could be an attribute to excess moisture on those grapes. But as a whole, across West Texas, looking at the grape crop, they really needed this crop. They've had some trouble over the past 2-3 years, so a good yielding crop would definitely help these grape producers out.
That is Eddie Griffiths reporting from Lubbock. Many wine trails crisscross the state, from the South Plains to the Red River and Eastern region, and from the Hill Country and North Central region to Dallas-Fort Worth, Austin, and Houston. Each trail offers visitors a different perspective of the Texas wine industry while providing an enjoyable and educational experience. For a listing of Texas wine trails, go to the Texas Wine and Grape Growers Association website at tx.wines.org. I'm Tom Nicoletti with the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network.
Neighbor Hop Singh hollered at me in Chinese and said he's ready to serve chicken fried steak, jalapeno gravy, nanny cease rolls, a cold cucumber salad. I'll pour that iced tea or the cup of coffee, whatever you prefer. We just prefer old Carl Herman eat with us. That's Carl Herman, Caldwell Livestock Commission Company. Carl, how'd the Wednesday sale go?
You know, we had a good sale yesterday. Had right at 900 head for 135 consigners and 42 buyers on a steady cow market and a slightly lower calf market. We had over 100 cows and bulls again. Slaughter cows 30 to 76. Slaughter bulls 65 to 95, stocker cows 610 to 1,000, and pairs 700 to 1,350. On the calves, on the steer side, 2 to 3 weight steers brought 160 to 215, 3 to 4 weights 150 to 190, 4 to 5 weight steers 150 to 185, the 5 and 6 weights 138 to 167, 6 to 7 weight steers 133 to 150, and the 7 to 8 weights 132 to 145. On the heifer side, 2 to 3 weight heifers brought 140 to 155, 3 to 4 weights 143 to 175, 4 to 5 weight heifers 137 to 195, 5 to 6 weight heifers brought 130 to 160, the 6 to 7 weights 131 to 170, and the 7 to 8 weight heifers 115 to 138. So had a lot of good cattle. Look forward to next week. We've got a lot of consignments already coming in, so we look for a big sale next week.
Good deal. We'll talk more about them at the first part of this next week. Carl, tell everybody how to get a hold of you.
My number is 979-820-5349. Call the barn, 567-4119. Or for the Giddings and surrounding area, call Max Ebner at 540-8676.
Carl Herman, thank you so much.
Thank you, Larry.
Neighbor, I want to quickly remind you about the live and online public auction Saturday, September the 11th, 9 a.m., Highway 90, farm, ranch, and construction equipment. D'Hanis, Texas, Lutz Auction Service, 830-931-4312, approximately 7 miles west of Hondo. Tractors like a John Deere 4440 with duals, a John Deere 325 skid steer with a cab. How about a 165 hydraulic blade or a 12-foot aerator? How about a 10-foot tandem disc? How about vehicles and tools, ATVs, and much, much more? If you need a tough line 8-foot offset disc, they've got them. Preferred squeeze chutes, WW Hog scales, J Deere, that's John Deere, 455 35-foot grain drill. Call 830-931-4312. LutzAuctionService.com, salesbybud.com this Saturday, approximately 7 miles west of Hondo, near D'Hanis. Lutz Auction Service. Neighbor, my cowboy crew's finished eating lunch, so we're going to send them up into the hill country to help Wayne Geiswhite distribute cattle and then get ready for the sheep and goat sale next Tuesday, another cattle sale Wednesday in Fredericksburg. Wayne, I understand parts of the sale were a tough go.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it was what happened with the board all week and late last week. A little different game. Ended up with right at 1,400. Cow market was steady. Better cows all bring in the 70s. Be up to the mid 70s, 75 or 7 cents, something like that. Yeah, market, well, the bright spot was the bigger cattle steers were definitely steady. There were a lot of 6-weight steers in the high 50s, low 160s. 7-weight, Nancy said the 7-weight steers right on top of 7, bring 150. With a few up to 155, most of them 45 to 50. That was the bright spot. Heifers, they were probably 2 to 4 cheaper straight across the board. Some of the lightweight heifers more than that. Better 6-weight heifers bring up on the mid 130s, maybe low 140s. 7-weights up on top of 133 or 4 was the very best. Then the bad part was the light cattle were just definitely $8 cheap. I'd say last week we had a runaway sale, and the better 3-weight calves bring a little over $2, $2.20 I think it topped out at. The 4-weights up to around $2. 5-weights, that was about the same, up to about 180. Not near as many orders in the house. They were a lot more selective, and in fact they were pretty picky.
How much of it was market factors and how much of it was the buyers beginning to break it back as the seasons get cool and we know that we're going to have some sickness in those light cattle?
We always talk about over 30 to 40 degrees spread in the morning and evenings, but we're not really seeing 40 yet. Last couple of days we have seen 25 to 30. That could be a start of sickness. But it's just mostly the board took all the optimism out. We were looking at the board from last Wednesday to this Wednesday. The board went from 170 on feeder cattle to 162 on yearlings. It just took the fire out of everybody.
Well, what do you anticipate next week?
Well, I'm sure we'll have a good run. Should have 1,200 or so and, 3,000 sheep and goats somewhere in that neighborhood.
Well, Wayne, tell everybody how to get a hold of you for the Tuesday sheep and goat sale, Wednesday cattle sale at Gillespie Livestock, Fredericksburg.
Lord, 830-997-4394.
Neighbor, remember, grab yourself a cold bottle of ice water out of that number 2 wash tub. Don't want you getting dehydrated. We need you back here this afternoon to eat kolach with my old camp cook, Hop Singh, and I. Taking a look at the grains, courtesy of John Tuggle, 800-288-4453. Milo through Corpus by September the 10th, D's plus 65, 1027. Yellow corn through Corpus in September, D's plus 80, 590 and a quarter. Hard red winter wheat delivered to Houston in September, D's plus 80, 784 and 3/4. And number 1 beans to Houston, September-October delivery, November less 30, 1249 and 1/2. 1,422 bale of Texas cotton moved yesterday. That was Texas and Oklahoma cotton. 90.70 on the low side. 93.88 on the high side. Neighbor, that's it for grains and cotton. That's it for the most popular farm and ranch news program in the great state of Texas. No brag, just fact. I'm Larry Marble. And neighbor, we'll have the coffee and the kolach ready about the time we see your pickup turn off the blacktop about 3:45 this afternoon. See you then.